Recording. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Maria Morales. I am the Business Engagement Consultant with IowaWORKS here in Marshalltown. I am co-presenting with Nikki Litzel, who is the Business Engagement Consultant in the Waterloo office. We are hosting this live training today to help with the transition from Teach Iowa to IowaWORKS.gov. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're happy to have you. The IowaWORKS website is robust with a lot of features for both job seekers and employers. We will go over some highlights of today and allow for some questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will answer them at the end of the presentation as we have allowed some time for questions. Okay, so we will get started. So just to kind of go over the agenda here briefly. Here are some things that we will be going. So we'll be going over an overview of IowaWORKS, how you can sign in, and also how to update your profile, post some jobs, and then go over some wonderful tools with IowaWORKS. So this is our homepage. So when our website is IowaWORKS.gov. So here is our homepage. So when you sign in, you were just clicking that sign in/register button on the right-hand corner. Every school district already has an account. So you should not have to create an account because you already have a login information. If for whatever reason you do not know your username and password, feel free to contact your local business engagement consultant and we will make sure to help you and provide that information that you will need to log in. In this homepage, you will also see the current openings that we have. So right here, you will also see the updated unemployment rate. And you will also see an indicator for all of our educational jobs. So this indicator will work for those school districts that have any openings and that you as a staff member have posted, or we as the business engagement consultant team have posted them for you. So if your jobs are getting indexed in or spidered in through IowaWORKS, those you may not notice notice the list here. I know that was one thing that has came up before. One of those questions from the previous live webinars is that when they go to click here to view all the job postings, they don't see theirs. And that's because of the way they're being indexed in. But don't worry, yours are still there and we can show you how you can view those postings at a later time. Then at the bottom of that same homepage, you will have this navigation bar at the bottom where you can find those jobs as well. So there's the link to find a job, also create resumes, look at some unemployment or file for unemployment, or view any additional information. And all of this information is for job seekers. And then we have the employer tab where you can find a candidate, maybe post a job, look at some employer incentives, or any additional services. And we also have a tab for labor market information. Job seekers do not have to log in to IowaWORKS to view openings. So anyone that goes into our IowaWORKS.gov website can view any openings. Once they click on apply, then they will be directed to either create an account with IowaWORKS if you do not have one, or to log into your account if you already have one. So now I am going to turn it over to Nikki, and she will be going over the first part of the training. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. As Maria said, I'm Nikki Litzel. I'm the business engagement consultant in Waterloo, and I'm going to go through a couple of things as well. Want to just remind you, if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. We are going to wait until the end to answer those questions, as sometimes we'll probably cover a lot of the things that may be actually answered throughout. So we'll wait until the end and make sure any questions get answered at the very end. So this is where you'll sign in when you go to into your account. You'll need that, as Maria mentioned, you'll need that sign-in information to get into the account. And you may already actually have a staff member. We've encountered a few schools who have had some staff members that already have received that information. Or again, you can contact your local business engagement consultant and we'll give you the information at the end. If you don't know who that person is, we'll show you how to reach that person. But here's how you sign in. Because our system is very secure, the very first time that you sign in, you will need to go through 5 steps to actually get in. And this is giving an example here. There's a sign in button at the top right hand corner on the home page. So you'll click on that. And then it's going to ask for your username and password. And generally, you'll at least need to know your username to get into your account. And so you'll type in the username and then click on that circled area there that says retrieve username or password. And then it will take you to the next screen, which is zip code. So it needs to know what zip code is in our system. And most of the time, that's a pretty easy, accurate number to plug in. But then you'll also need the phone number. And sometimes it depends on what phone number the last user actually plugged into the system. So you want to make sure that you know the phone number that actually matches what's in our system to go to that next step. Then there will be a security question, and we also have a default security question response, again, that you will need to get from either one of your staff members who's already logged in or one of your, or whoever your business engagement consultant is, can give that information to you. But that, once you have those 5 things, then you can basically create your password, enter a new password, and then you'll need to confirm the password. And of course, like all passwords, it's got to have a certain number of characters, capitals, uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols, and all that fun stuff. Once you are in, this is a snapshot of what you will see when you're in your dashboard. And generally, you'll see a message center pop up that says important information. That's where you'll receive a lot of internal messages, is what we call them. And generally, we as a staff will send employers out different messages when we have job fairs going on, career fairs, or any other events, hiring events, or things like that. And so that's a good way that we are sending out messages to employers. So you can check that inbox occasionally and know of any upcoming events that we might have going on, or any other updates with your local office that way. And then also, if you opt in, you'll see later to receive any notifications of job applicants. That's also another way that message center will tell you if you have any job applicants internally. So this is your dashboard. And if we go to the next page, you can see how you can actually rearrange your dashboard to what works best for you and your way of using it. As you may know, many employers throughout the entire state use this website. So a lot of different things in these choices may or may not apply to you as a school district, but there's lots of different options on how you can choose to set up your dashboard. And again, if you ever need any help or questions with that, you can always reach out to your business engagement consultant to walk you through that. Then once you get to your account information, this is the kind of the home page of your general account information. And so this is where you would plug in your primary location. As many school districts have multiple locations, you probably want to put in your administration office or any main contact, primary contact information would be on this general information tab. And then as you can see, there are tabs going across where you can click on to add in locations and contacts and users. If you scroll down towards the bottom of your general information page, you'll see this company profile section. And this is kind of a neat feature of IowaWORKS.gov where you can create some content or put some content even from your own website into this box here. And this will tell any job applicants a little bit about your school district and just give any kind of background information. And it's kind of a great promotional way to let people know why to choose to work with your school district. Then you get a tiny URL that is unique to you, and that link can be copied and pasted anywhere really that you choose to do that. And that tiny URL, as you see on the right side of the screen, goes to this. This is an example of what that will look like. You do have the ability to put in your image of your logo. So Maria, if you want to point to where that button is, the Edit Employer Summary Profile image is where you can actually click on that and you can put in your school district logo, which a lot of schools have taken advantage of. But if you choose not to, then it'll just kind of have a little apple up there, and this is what it will look like. It'll give a little bit of information about your company, whatever content you choose to put in that text box, and then it goes to your job postings underneath that. So that shows all of the available jobs that your school district has. So again, that tiny URL can be put pretty much anywhere, and then that will link to this profile page. Okay, then scrolling across, we saw those locations, and this is where the tab where you can add in locations of multiple different schools. So if you have an elementary school, middle school, high school, this is where you can add multiple locations where job orders may tie directly into those locations. And so you'll want to make sure that information gets updated under your school district as well. And then this is where you put in the contact and users that can also, again, be tied in with those locations when you click those tabs. So this is where you, anybody who you would want to have access to see your job postings, maybe edit job postings, add job postings. This is anybody who would be working on any of those things would be added to this location here. And then once you add those contacts, you are able to give them privileges. So this tab here is where you are allowed to, as the primary contacts, would have the ability to give privileges, user privileges to the other contacts under that school district. So if there are job postings, but you don't want anybody to edit them, but maybe one or two people, you can designate privileges to only be able to see those job postings, or if you want others to be able to edit them, or others to be able to post them. There's lots of different privilege choices that you have here available. And even with the account, having the ability to add contacts or edit contacts, that's really up to you as an individual school district and what privileges you want to allow others to be able to use within your school district. Okay, now we're going to go on to talk about how to post jobs and manage job orders. So you'll go to manage job orders, and under manage job orders, you'll have the option to view current job orders, edit, delete, or copy current jobs, add a new job order, view applicants, or search by job criteria. This is an example of what it looks like when you have at least one job order in the system. You can see kind of going across the top, the title, the status of the job, online status, all of those different things. And then you have the ability to either copy an existing job or add a new job order to the system as well. So you can start from scratch and add a new job order, or you can copy an existing job order. So this shows how you can look to see. A lot of schools may not be aware that there might be some archived jobs in IowaWORKS. And as we've been working with schools, we've learned that they didn't know they had an account. This system with IowaWORKS.gov is actually has been around for a long time. It was updated in 2019, but before 2019, there was another job order website where schools and employers could post jobs, and a lot of that might have been transferred over into our current IowaWORKS system. So I always encourage school districts to go in and see if there are any expired or archived jobs. And there are two different ways to do that. You can click on job filter criteria. And once you do that, you click on that little plus and different options will open on how you want to filter those job orders. And you can see active and inactive jobs. Another way to do it is to just click at the very bottom in that little circle there where it says show all jobs. So that would show all jobs that are active and inactive and expired. Today we're going to, there's a few options when you click on create a job order. So you can do a basic job order, which has some minimal data entry. If you just have a kind of a very basic job order you want to create, you can do a kind of a shorter cut on doing that, or you can do a custom job order that has a more step-by-step data entry process, and it has a few more flexibility in custom settings. And then you could also copy an existing job order, and that's what I talked about a little bit before, where you can take a job that's already in the system, archived, and copy that, and then just recreate your new job order using that existing job order. For today's purposes, we are going to do the custom job order that's a little more extensive, so you can see all of the different options available. So once you click on that custom job order, it will take you to this next screen where you'll be asked to put in a job title, and we encourage that you keep it simple and use keywords that job seekers would use or see. So for this example, we have teacher plugged in. And then the next section, you pick your job occupation. And so it'll bring up this pop-up here where you will see under a few different tabs of ways to find the actual occupation description that ties into ONET. And so if you type in education, you'll see that there are a few different options to pick for teachers, education teachers, middle school, post-secondary, secondary, and things like that. So once you get in, again, click the job title, type in the job title, and then you can click on the job occupation and pick what fits the closest with that job occupation. There's also been some questions with some of the school districts with coaches. So if you type in the keyword coach, what generally pops up is coaches and scouting. So that's been chosen by some schools to be that occupation for coaches. The next phase of the job order is deciding what you want to be seen online by job seekers. And if you want it to be displayed online, if you want your company name. In some cases, a lot of different businesses out there may choose to remain confidential. So you can choose to be confidential. You can display the full work site address, street address, all of those different things. And you can also, under job details, tell how many positions are open. So the nice thing is if you create a position for paras, for example, and let's say you have 5 para positions, you only have to put the job in once, and then you tell how many positions are available under that job. And then of course you'll, our system automatically defaults to post your job for 30 days, but you have the ability to change that time period if you want it posted for a shorter amount of time or a longer amount of time. This is where you would make those changes to the dates that that job is posted. The type of job, if it's full-time or part-time, if it's most of the school district jobs are not remote, but that is a required question now that a lot of employers have remote job opportunities. And anticipated job duration, if it is, again, it defaults to all of these answers over 150 days. If you would see it as a temporary job or a seasonal job for some reason, this is where you would make those changes to what category that falls in. And then there are other special categories that you can choose as well. And it does default to a number of applicants of 150. You can always change that. I think we have very rarely seen 150 job applicants for many of these open positions. This is where you would go to put in your job description. And a lot of times, I know on Teach Iowa, when you had a job posting and a job description, a lot of our staff went from Teach Iowa and copied those job descriptions and put them over here in IowaWORKS. And we were able to paste those in. If you ever want to go in and make some changes or edits, you're definitely able to do that in this section. And if you're creating a job order from scratch, again, this is where you are, if you're not sure where to begin with the job description, there is an option to do a summary job description or more detailed job description. And so you can pick that option base and it will pull up sample text based on your job title and job occupation. And the system will automatically pull that. But the nice thing is if you choose those options, you still have the ability to go in and edit that. So you can basically work with the sample text and create your own text that goes along with that sample text. This is where you would choose skill sets. Again, this is optional if you would choose to use skill sets, but you can use default skills for the occupation. You can copy the skills from an existing job order to this job order. You can select skills for this job from a list of available skills, or you do not need to define any skills for this job. So this is where you can, again, require certain skills or maybe a few, or just pick from some options as well. Tools and technology are also an option where you can choose to include any technology or tools that are required for this job. You can also add any special software or hardware skills that are needed, any other degrees or certificates or software. There is a text box where you can add that additional information. And then also work keys. If you're not familiar with work keys scores, there's a little link there that you can click on to learn a little bit about work keys. Again, a lot of employers use this system for posting jobs, and some employers do take advantage of the work keys scores as well. This is where an example of picking from some general skills that you can choose from to add to your job order. And also there is a section for hiring requirements. So drug testing, reference checks, COVID-19 vaccine, or any others that you might require for this job occupation. And then there's a section for education and experience. And this again is where we've had some different school districts ask about what if they need any type of license or certification. This is where you say, yes, it is required to have this license or certification, and this is where you put that information in. This section is on wages, and this pulled in labor market information that we have gathered from all over the state of Iowa on different labor market wages in different occupations. But you are also welcome to plug in your minimum and maximum salary requirements, and you can do it by units, by year, or you could do by hour, depending on what that occupation is. You have the choice to make what you want to have posted for wages with that job order. And then of course you can choose the option of depending on experience, or we'll talk with candidate and things like that. So there's a whole pull down of other options that you can choose for the wages. And we do recommend that you do include a wage on all of your job postings. It's 43% more likely to draw applicants' attention if you include the wages in your job order. They're more likely to apply. And then benefits. Definitely wages and benefits are a big thing for a lot of job seekers. So this is the section where you can add, you can click boxes and talk about the different benefits that are available for your job. The next part is communicating with your job seeker. How do you want them to apply? So we have, again, lots of options to choose from. We recommend that they do an IowaWORKS resume online or uploaded resume. That's highly recommended, but you can choose any or all of the additional options as well. Provide an IowaWORKS application. You can have them send you an email and you can edit the email address that you want to receive that job application through. By mail, you can edit that. By fax, I don't know many that do that anymore, but that's still an option. By phone and in person, all of those things can be edited. At the nearest one stop, again, lots of employers use this site. So we are technically the one stop that is referring to with the IowaWORKS centers. And then via your company website, and a lot of school districts are using their company website to plug in here. And then job seekers can just receive the link and click on that to apply as well. Another option is to, you can add, if you want to give any further instructions, there's actually a text box there where you can give any more detailed instructions on how you'd like to receive those applications. And then this is the information that you can say you are requesting that is needed for the job applicant. Their contact information, employment history, education history, any certifications. So you have the option to click on any of those boxes. And then if you choose to do an online IowaWORKS application, this is where you would add those application questions and create those question sets and instructions on how to answer those questions. You can require a response for those questions, or you can make it optional as well. And then we highly recommend that you opt in for the National Labor Exchange. We have a great partnership with the National Labor Exchange. Generally, there is a charge to post jobs on the National Labor Exchange, but by posting through IowaWORKS.gov, you can basically click that box and opt in to have your jobs posted out on the National Labor Exchange, which provides a wider net for your job orders to be seen. And then we're almost to the end here. There's other information that is, you can optionally check this. Again, most of this applies to a lot of other employers, but federal contract questions, dream job, court-ordered affirmative action, and enterprise zone. So if you ever have questions about those other information on your job order, those are all optional for you to choose. And then once you click save, you are officially done, and that job order will post. One of the things we want to point out is that for the first 24 to 48 hours, that job will only be seen by veterans. The Jobs for Veterans Act mandates priority of service to veterans seeking employment and training opportunities. So any jobs, any and all jobs that get posted through IowaWORKS.gov will only be seen by veterans for the first 24 to 48 hours. And there is no way to go around that or shut that off. We've had several schools ask that, and that is just an act that is followed by IowaWORKS.gov. And as you can see, veterans are designated by that little flag there. So any veterans who are in our have their information uploaded into our system will have that priority of service, and they are designated by those flags. If you ever see an applicant come through and they have a little flag by their name like that, that means they are a veteran. We've had different school districts ask about archiving jobs. So once you fill a position or want it archived, they're always going to be there for you. So you can go to this circled area here that says open and available. And let's say it's posted for a week and you're able to fill it. So you come back to this section on the job order and click on that link there, and it takes you to the update job order status. And you can do a pull down and change if it has been filled, if you want to put it on hold, or if you want to close that position, or if you have no longer have that position available for whatever reason, you have the ability to basically archive that job order, so it will not be seen out in the opening any longer. Okay, now I'm going to toss it back to Maria to talk about spidered or indexed job orders.
Okay, so we have, as Nikki mentioned, how to create some job orders manually. We also have some job orders that are either spidered in to IowaWORKS.gov or indexed in, and we'll go over how we can find those jobs. So if you go to the homepage, so this is before you even log in, when you just go to IowaWORKS.gov. If you click on the find a job, so right here, find a job, then this will populate. And for this example, I did Boone Community School District, but as you notice, I only typed in Boone Community. The less, the better. And then what I did is we checked all the sources. So originally, when this comes up, only specific sources come up. So like these 3 sources will be automatically selected, and a few others. But we want to just check all, just so we make sure we can find all the jobs that are either spidered in or indexed in through any sources. And then once you find that search, or you click on search, you will have a list. So here are some examples of Boone Community School District, different jobs. So here on the left under source, this will tell you where we got this job from. So it looks like 38 jobs were from a private job board, 10 were from a job distributor, and 2 were preferred employer. And what does that mean? So here's kind of like a little key. So preferred job means either a staff member entered the job order. It could be somebody from your staff or somebody from IowaWORKS staff enter that job order. So that is called a preferred job, or preferred employer, sorry. So if you look at this bus driver position here, job posting, it'll say preferred employer. That means that either IowaWORKS posted it or somebody from your staff at the school district posted it. Then the job distributor, it could either be from Indeed, from ZipRecruiter, for any different types of job distributor, and that will look like this. So this one is, you'll notice they'll say job distributor, and it also tells you when it was posted. So this one was from Indeed 3 weeks ago. Then we have the National Labor Exchange, so NLX. So on the source, it will just say National Labor Exchange. Then we have the private job boards. So this is an example of a private job board. It'll say private job board, and then it'll have the different types of private job boards. So this one is from School Spring. So these are the different ways you can find your jobs. So earlier when we talked about the indicator, if for some reason when you click on the indicator and you can't find your jobs there, that means that it's because they're not entered in as a preferred employer, meaning your staff members or IowaWORKS staff are not posting them, they're being indexed in or spidered in. And this is how you would find them, would be, from click on that find a job. So I'll go back. So clicking that find a job, the least the better. So let's say if it's Marshalltown Community, Boone Community, Des Moines Community, whatever your school district is, make sure you check them all and then click on search, and then you'll bring the list. So this is another way to find those jobs. And then also what the difference is between the preferred employer and spidered job orders or index job orders. Now we'll go over different types of powerful tools that we have with IowaWORKS. I know that, with this transition from Teach Iowa to IowaWORKS, you might wonder if there's certain specific tools that IowaWORKS has that maybe you did utilize with Teach Iowa, and we'll go over some of those different powerful tools. So the first one is conducting a candidate search. So IowaWORKS gives you that opportunity to find candidates. So there's different ways to find candidates. One way would be, once you create your job order, you can click where it says search by job criteria, And what will happen is you will get a list of all the different resumes in the system that meet your minimum requirements you indicated when you created your job order. Another way could be by looking at some resumes with some advanced resume searches. So this one, the advanced resume search, you get to enter or filter those criteria. The one, if you do search by job criteria, this you don't have any filters because it will bring up whatever you indicated as a minimum requirements. So that's one way. Oh, those are the two ways. And then this is kind of a little list or a detailed list of how, a summary list of how it will pull up. So we'll have the individual's name and location here. For confidentiality, we did remove that, but here you'll have the job seeker's information, name and location. And then if they have a resume, what education they have, what their desired salary is, and a little bit about their different skills. And if you want a detailed view, you would just click on detail, and then instead of just having the quick summary, it would be more specific information. For this example, we have decided to do the summary, just so you can have a quick overview. Then with IowaWORKS, you can also track applicants. So once you create your job, so let's say this one is for a teacher position, now you can see, that's able and available. How many people have viewed your job posting and how many applicants have applied. So this number will continue growing when job seekers click apply now, so they can apply to your job. So if you click on that 5, you will get a list that looks similar to this. And you have a list of the different applicants that have applied to your job. Right now we have, once again, in summary view, but you can change it to detailed view if you wish. On this same page, you'll be able to track them. So where it says applicant status, you will click there and you can either say, indicate if you hired them, if you didn't hire them, if you interviewed them, or if you scheduled an interview. You can also rate them to say if they were a good fit or not, or not a good fit. So those are different ways you can track and rate your applicants. This rating, only you can see them. There is a checkbox that you can check if you want other employees to see it, but this will be viewed by other job seekers. So only you, or if you indicate you wanted other employers to view, you can select the box to allow them to see your own rating. We can also add some notes on individuals' resumes, and by that is you will bring up the individual's resume, and there's a section for notes, and then you can add as many notes as you want. In this section, you will also get kind of like a quick overview of the individual skills, qualifications, if they have any driver license, if they have any resumes, or any references, if they listed any. And then we have a great tool called Virtual Recruiter. And what that is, it is a tool where you can, where the system will create or pull data from our system automatically without having you to do it manually. So let's say that you're looking for a paraeducator. What you would do is you would go, once you log in on the left-hand side, there's going to be a menu bar. There's 3 little lines. If you click there and scroll down to where you see recruitment services, and then I'll say virtual recruiter. Once you click there, this will populate, and click on create new resume alert. And once you do that, you'll be able to customize or filter what is it that you want the system to search for. So let's say this one says paraeducator, and let's say we want it for Marshall County. We'll get a list that looks similar like this. And if you see the flag, once again, like Nikki was saying earlier, that means that they're a veteran. So let's say that you want to continue with this search. Like for the paraeducator in Marshall County, you can click here where it says save search. And what will happen is you can label it. So you can provide a title as paraeducator. And how often do you want to run that? Do you want to run it daily, weekly, or monthly? And how do you want to be notified? Do you want to also get an email or a text? Or are you okay with only receiving a message from the message center? And the message center is when you logged in, like Nikki mentioned it at the beginning, when you log in, it will give you like important information. It will say if you have any messages, you can just click there, you'll be able to see your messages. And then also has the option if you still want to receive an email, even if no resumes were found. And when do you want that alert to end? And you can have as many virtual recruiters set up as you like. You can have one like for your support staff, for teachers, for paras, for IT, for bus monitor, whatever safe search results you want to do. That way the system will automatically find those resumes and email you those resumes without you having to do it manually. Then we have different ways you can email or message or job seekers. One way would be by once you see their information on the application that they applied, there's a section where it says, send this individual a message. If you click on it, it'll send the individual a message. But then let's say that you want to send someone a message that hasn't applied for your position, or it's not on your list of applicants, you can still do that. And that would be by on the left-hand side of the menu bar. If you scroll down to Communication Center, you'll have a section that says Message Center. Once you click that and then click Create a New Message, you'll be able to send the individual a message. It'll populate so you can search for the individual and you can send them a message. You can do mass messages or you can do individual messages as well. And all of these is just an overview of the different things you can do in IowaWORKS and what different tools IowaWORKS have. For more one-on-one assistance, feel free to contact your local business engagement consultants to be able to walk you through and assist you further. Another neat thing IowaWORKS has is the email alerts. You can receive email alerts as well. And if you want to turn that on or set those email alerts on, once you log in and you are at your general profile information, if you scroll all the way down, there's going to be a selection where it says, please select a method in which you prefer to receive your notifications. You can either do internal message or you can change it to email, text, or internal with email notification. I recommend this one, internal message with email notification, just because I know you may all be really busy and not be logged into IowaWORKS every day. But if you have that internal message with email notification, you'll be able to still get notified of those applicants or any messages via your email as well. That way you don't have to log in and check your emails every day. But if you do want to, if you prefer checking your internal messages rather than getting emails, then you can just do the internal message and then you'll see those once you log into IowaWORKS. And then we have different types of indicators, and all of these indicators can be turned on. So one of them is our home-based Iowa. So the home-based Iowa indicator are for those employers that do provide jobs to veterans, or they're willing to help veterans with any employment. So we have this indicator to help job seekers and veterans know that all of these employers are veteran friendly. And how you can get that turned on is we would direct you to your local veterans representative, so your leader, and they'll be able to help you get that turned on. So the first step would be is to connect with your local business engagement consultant, and we can let you know who your local veteran representative is. If you don't know who either of them are, at the end of this presentation, we do have our business engagement consultant's email address and also phone number, and then we will direct the correct business engagement consultant to contact you. The other indicator that we have is for registered apprenticeship. So if you are a school or employer that has a registered apprenticeship program, we will provide that indicator. So our registered apprenticeship team will turn that on for you. And then we also have the educational job posting. So if you are a school district, we will turn that indicator for you. And this is kind of an example of how it looks like. I was able to find an example. It looks like Des Moines Independent Community School District has all three, so that's amazing. Not all employers have all of them, but this one does, so we were really happy to share that. So this one, if you look at it, this means that they are a veteran-friendly employer. They have some educational positions, and they also have a registered apprenticeship program. And then here, once again, is that veteran. So this will be an indicator for you as an employer, knowing what individuals are veterans and which ones are not. Because the ones that are will have that veteran flag or that flag right there. So what are our next steps? So our next step is to remember to update your website to IowaWORKS website instead of Teach Iowa. And what you can do is, when Nikki was providing the information about the company profile and the tiny URL, you can use that tiny URL to link to your own school district website. So once you go to careers or employment, depending what category you have it under, you can enter that tiny URL there. That way, job seekers know that they can go directly to IowaWORKS and they can view all your listings of openings there. Or if you have your own website, differently, you can just link your website there as well. You can start using IowaWORKS for any of your job posting. You can also start searching for your next, future employee while using IowaWORKS. We did go over that virtual recruiter, that candidate search. So you can start doing that. And once again, contact your local business engagement consultant for that one-on-one assistance. This was more of an overview of the different sources, different tools that IowaWORKS has. And if you don't know who that local business engagement consultant is for your area, you can either email us at IowaWORKS or iawworks@iwd.iowa.gov, or you can call us at 833-469-2967. And that email and phone number are answered every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 4:30. If you have any additional questions, now it's a great time to put them in the chat, and Nikki and I will be able to answer any of those questions. So let's take a look at the questions. Let's see the first one. What do we need to do to receive access to view job postings? We have a message that says we do not have access. Okay, so what we need to do is we would just make sure that we turn on those privileges that you are able to post those jobs. If you what we'll do is we'll get you connected with your local business engagement consultant that can help you. And if there's no one in that area at the moment, then we can see one of us can assist you with that. So we'll make sure we connect with you, Abigail, to make sure you do have those privileges. Any other questions? It looks like Nikki is answering some of those questions as well. Okay, well, I do not see any more questions as of right now. Oh, it looks like one just came up. Yes, so for veterans, it's between 24 to 48 hours. So it just depends on when the system releases those veterans. So it's not like, like let's say I posted a job right today, right at this time, that it will be 24 hours from today. It just depends. The system releases those jobs every day at nighttime. So if it's before or after, it might take the 24 hours, or sometimes it might take the full 48 hours. So that's what we like to say, it's from 24 to 48 hours, because it just depends on when the job was created and how long or different it's been from when the system automatically does it. Because the system releases all the jobs, veteran jobs, every day at the same time. So that's why it's different. So that's why we can't say if it's 24, 30, 36, or 48 hours due to that.
And it actually doesn't update over the weekend. So if you would create a job on a Friday, for example, it may not update until the Monday or Tuesday, because that weekend is in there as well.
Thank you. Yep, great question. Okay, let's see, one more. To Iowa had a set of screener type questions. Are those available within IowaWORKS? So where Nikki was talking about, when you create those job postings, there's a section where you can add any additional questions that you may want to add. And that's a good place where you can add those questions that maybe to you, it will help as a screener. So you can, put those questions there. Okay, let's see. You would have to add them individually on each one. Yes, so you would have to add them to each job posting, whatever questions you want. Nikki did go over a little bit about once you create a job order, how you can copy it. So then maybe that's one thing that you can do is have like a template or a job order with those same questions. So once you create your next job order, instead of having to add them individually, you can just click on copy and copy that full job order, which will include those questions there as well. Okay, a few minutes. Every time I'm gonna end, we get a question.
There's actually one about spidered information as well for you.
Let's see. Where do you go for the spidered information? Do you mean like, how do you find the spidered job orders maybe?
Maybe you want to go back to that screen.
Okay, so that would be. So that would be this screen here. So once you go to IowaWORKS.gov, this is before you sign in. So normally when you go to IowaWORKS.gov, on this corner, on the right-hand corner, you will see the sign in button. But if you keep scrolling down, you'll find this find a job. If you click on find the job, then you'll have this populate. And then here you can find type in either a job title, company, occupation, code. So for this example, I did Boone Community. It's best to do the least the better. So that's why I only did Boone Community. And then I made sure I clicked here where it says check all. That way I can make sure that all the different sources, so like spidered in or indexed in job orders, I will be able to view them. Then you can do that. And then once you click search thing, that's how you will find them. And anybody can view them. So you don't have to have access to IowaWORKS.gov to do that. So you can just go to the website without logging in, and then you'll have access to view it. So it looks like Nikki posted the oh, she posted a link for another question separately. But if you just go to IowaWORKS.gov, you will be able to view it. But if it's giving you something that says not authorized, we can look to see what's going on, but you shouldn't be getting that message. Because that's what you're saying, right, Abigail, that once you try finding the spider job orders, it's telling you that you're not authorized to see that. Is that correct? Okay, well, let's do a live run. Do you mind pulling up IowaWORKS.gov, Nikki? And we can take a look. And it can be just a regular IowaWORKS website, if you don't mind. That way we can see where you're getting that error. I will stop sharing my screen. That way Nikki can pull it up here shortly.
We can give this a try, but it might be more specific to those school districts that they're experiencing that too.
Yep, I just want to show them how to get there. And just to see where they're getting stuck as far as the not authorized to see this alert. Okay, so go ahead and log out, like, don't be signed in. It looks like you have another tab there. You can just click on the other tab to the left. Yep. And then just go home. Okay, perfect. Yep, it looks like Abigail was saying that it did let her know. Yep. So yeah, once you'll do this once you're logged out. So you will go where it says find the job under job seeker. So we'll just go a little bit down. Yep. One more right there. Yep. So if you click that. And then here, that's when you can type in, whatever school district, like the one that I did, it was Boone, but it can be, Cedar Falls or whatever school district. And then make sure you, so I didn't do anything with the city. I only typed in Boone community, but you can do, Cedar Falls and Marshalltown, whatever one. And then go on check all. Oops. So go ahead and go back. For that one more important step. So go ahead and go back to the other screen. Okay, and then make sure you click where it says check all. If you scroll down to where it says sources. Yep, make sure check all, and now you can search right there. Perfect. Yep, and then it will allow you to see it. And if you want to know what sources, or you want to only see specific sources, you can scroll down to the left-hand side until you see where it says sources. And here it tells you, like for this one, we have different sources. So we have the education institution source, National Labor Exchange, private job board, job distributor, preferred employer, and then hospitals as well. It looks like there must be, since we only did Sioux City community, maybe there's a hospital that's named, with those beginnings, because we didn't do the full community school district. But if you scroll up to that employer piece of it or section, here you can select, so you see where it says Sioux City Community School. There's 277 job postings. Here, there's the Unity Point Health. That's the one that maybe you don't want to check. That way you don't see any jobs that are not related to the school district. And once again, the reason why that one pulled in was because we weren't specific as it being a community school district. It's the less the better. I mean, you can type in the whole thing, Sioux City Community School District, but as you see, some of them are abbreviated, like this one for district, and maybe it's just DIST. So if you would have spelled out this, spelled it differently, then you might not view all the listings. So that's why it's better to have less. Just keep in mind, just to make sure that you're only looking for those employers that are relevant to you. Any other questions? Okay, it doesn't look like I see any additional questions. Well, once again, thank you guys for joining us today. If you guys have any questions, please get in contact with your local business engagement consultants. And if you don't know who that is, feel free to email us or give us a call at our business engagement line, and we will be more than happy to help you. Well, have a great day and thank you for joining. Bye-bye.